Welcome to another episode of the Dr. Fantastic and Thunder Show. We don't have Thunder tonight, but we do have the beautiful Erica. And she just had a beautiful turkey dinner with her family and didn't have time for dessert to jump in the car to head to the airport to go back to New York, right?
Yeah, New York.
Going back to New York, where she's a marketing guru and a very positive person. So we're going to talk about positivity tonight. And as you know, this show brings you people and information and technologies to help improve your mind or your body or the planet. So tonight we're going to talk improving the mind. How do we improve the mind, Erica?
By speaking positive intent and being fantastic.
Okay.
Actions, I think, move to improve your mind.
I agree with that. I always say positive thoughts manifest positive action. Now, how did you learn that? Trial and error in school? Do you take psychology? Was it your parents?
Trial and error, I would say. And also listening to a lot of podcasts.
So you listen to podcasts?
I listen to podcasts. I operate out of a school of positivity, and nothing good comes from knee-jerk reactions, thinking less of others, rude comments, etc. Granted, I succumb to them often, and I have to remind myself when I get into little tiffs with, say, my sister that, okay, let's go back. Positive intent. Everybody is here for a reason. Negative emotions and negative comments will only lead to fighting and outcomes that you never wake up the day hoping for. So it's all about really entering every situation with positivity and positive intent and realizing that we're all in this together. We're all trying to figure out, how to navigate life, and any negative reaction can really alter an experience and really shift your entire day for better or for worse.
So you had a turkey dinner tonight with the family. Was it all positive? Was there any quibbling?
There was a little quibbling leading up to dinner between my mom and I, but otherwise all positive.
And because it's a special night, the whole country got together. I filmed a little show this morning I found a little company making 2,000 sandwiches this morning for the poor, and I made a little video on that, which is kind of cool. And there's just a lot of good, positive. I think today is probably, I would want to say that one of the most positive giving days. Because Christmas is great, but this is where you're giving to strangers, and Christmas you're giving to your loved ones, right? So this is, I think Thanksgiving's got to be one of the most giving days of the year.
Definitely. How do you take the Mr. Fantastic movement to the recent fires across our state of California? The Woolsey fire that affected many people in this area, and then the Camp Fire up north.
Well, it's Dr. Fantastic.
Sorry. Let's take it lighter. Dr. Fantastic.
And my daughter lived in paradise.
Oh, wow.
And she left her home with her my grandchildren, granddaughters.
No way.
And thought she was going to come back in a couple days. So didn't take a stitch of clothing or any mementos or anything out of the home. So she lost her home. She lost all her belongings, her cars, and motorcycles. They loved Harleys. And so she was pretty devastated, as anyone would be. I actually lost my home at 9 years old up in Hillsburg, California, and it burned 10,000 acres, so I know a bit about losing everything, although in those days we didn't have much. But, so I told her...
Hillsboro, you said?
I'm sorry?
You're from Hillsboro?
Hillsburg.
Hillsburg, where's that?
It's up north of San Francisco.
Okay. I'm from Sacramento.
Okay. So I told her, you can't change the past. The fire happened, it's over, your children are fine. All your friends are homeless, obviously the whole town's homeless. I almost bought a home up there.
Will they rebuild?
Well, here's the problem. First off, let me tell you what I told her first. Going forward, You could be miserable about losing your beautiful home and all your possessions, but you can't.
Wait. Can we say that one more time?
Say what one more time?
About losing your home?
Well, you can be miserable about the past or about any kind of loss, but you can't change that because it's the past. So knowing that you can't change the past, and all we have is today, and we may not have tomorrow, because you know the old saying, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. That's why they call it the present. So I told her, you can't change what happened yesterday. You lost your home. You lost everything. Now what you have to do is think about the positives. What are the positives? You're healthy. You have your husband and your children. You're going to get a new home eventually. You're going to get new cars, new clothing, new computers, new toothbrush. Everything's going to be new. You won't have the memories. You won't have the photographs. But you have to think of going forward. You can't be miserable from something you have no control over anymore. It's the past. Forget about the past. I used to have a huge yacht. Parties like you can't believe. And anyone's ever been in one of my yacht parties would come up to me nowadays and say, do I miss my yacht? And unequivocally, I say no every time. Because if I missed my yacht, I would be thinking about my yacht, which is in the past. Why would I think about something in the past? I'm living for today. Does that make sense?
Wow, makes total sense.
Do not live in the past. Take your past and learn from the mistakes you make and live for today, but don't live for tomorrow either. There's many philosophers that said, live today as though it's your last, because one day it will be your last.
Definitely.
And the other saying that I like to live by is, I think, therefore I am, from the French philosopher René Descartes, because it is what you think. You could be fantastic or good, okay, well, fine, great, awesome, but fantastic makes you and other people feel good. So it's called giving. It's called karma. So I really encourage people to be fantastic. So again, she's in a bad spot. I started a GoFundMe campaign, raised a couple grand for her, and that was helpful for her. And it's just...
Where is she living now?
Here's the problem. In Paradise.
Yeah.
And this might be an Agenda 21 situation. A lot of people think it is. If you start looking at the facts, some of these homes, there's nothing left. That's not typical of a fire.
Yeah.
So there's lots of stuff that doesn't make any sense whatsoever about these fires. But the problem with Paradise is, like for instance, few buildings survived. Her school survived. She was a teacher there.
She got the high school?
Yeah, she got fired because there's no students.
Wow.
So now any business that did survive is closed because there's no community. It's closed down anyway, the whole city. But let's say they open up the city tomorrow. No business is going to rebuild because there's no residents. No residents are going to rebuild because there's no business. It's a dead city. Paradise, which was literally paradise.
Was it paradise?
It was paradise. And whenever I visited, I'd say, who doesn't want to live in paradise?
What was so wonderful about it?
It was paradise. It was idyllic. It was country. It was trees. It was nice people. So you got to remember I told you we live in a greedy, selfish, litigious society? Well, up there, they will let you in traffic. They will hold the door open for you. It doesn't happen in the big cities because no one cares about anyone else in the big city. In the country, you have neighbors. It's an easier life.
Yeah.
And it was paradise. It was gorgeous, beautiful pine trees, country, clean air, and now it's lost.
It's lost.
Paradise is lost. It's very sad.
I wish all the best to your daughter and her family, and I know that fire, I've been affected by fires for many years now here in California, and unless you see it or have friends, family, relatives impacted by it, it's truly hard to understand. And my sister's boyfriend is from Malibu and is from Point Dume and spent a week basically on the front lines during that fire, and the stories that we heard at Thanksgiving were just really eye-opening, and it's truly not comprehensible in terms of how people rebuild and how long it takes. And has a place up in Bass Lake near Yosemite, and four years ago maybe, the whole forest burned, our next door neighbors, many people on the street, and it takes years to rebuild and to see new homes go up. And so in areas where so many homes go, it's just, I can't imagine the time and the energy and what these families have to go through to rebuild. It's just...
Like I said, when I was 9, our home, the fire started in our home. A cat knocked over a lantern because it was a log cabin. We didn't have running water or electricity, so we had lanterns, and a cat knocked over a lantern, caught the house on fire, and there was no fireman to put it out until a day or two later, and it burned 10,000 acres.
Wow.
And it started in our home.
Jeez.
And that basically was a straw that broke my stepdad's back, and committed suicide a few months later.
No way.
Yeah, because he lost everything. We finally got away from society because he was a beatnik, and society didn't like artists back then.
Wow. That's
So
crazy.
it was pretty tough. But again, if it doesn't kill you, it makes you tougher,
Of course.
But you gotta. I can't stand when people just give up.
Mm-hmm.
To be alive is so much better, no matter how bad off you are.
Mm-hmm.
I always say, if you lose your home, your wife divorces you, your kids hate you, you lose your job, you have nothing, walk out to the curb and stick your thumb out. Mm-hmm. Someone nice will pick you up, and life will continue. Mm-hmm. And you'll find a job someplace, and things will go on. So to end your life is the silliest thing of all. To take other people's lives and then end your life is even worse. Mm-hmm. And it happens every day. We hear it. It just doesn't make any sense. People are taking life too serious is the problem. Mm-hmm. Life is real easy. You just have to relax and let it flow. Mm-hmm. Not beat yourself up from the fear that we've been taught. Mm-hmm. And enjoy it every day. Every day, you have to enjoy every day.
You really, really do.
Because it's, before you know it, you're old.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. You're 31 years old. High school was yesterday.
I know.
And then there's a 10-year reunion. Then there's a 20-year reunion.
Life
It's just
goes
like,
fast.
are you kidding me?
And you still feel like you did at 18
Yeah.
as you get older.
Well, I've been married 36 years, and I was 26 when we got married, and I'm still 26. I'm not. Mm-hmm. She said, "When are you going to grow up?" I go, "I'm not going to grow up. Mm-hmm. Why would I want to grow up? I'm enjoying my life, and you married me as I was then, and I am now. Sorry."
Of course, and that's kind of the beauty in life. And I'm really lucky, and I have incredible friends from growing up and also college. But my 2 very best friends I met in preschool, and they're more like sisters. And so we've been in each other's lives for 2-3 decades at this point, and I am so thankful for that.
That is wonderful to hear.
So wonderful. I spoke at both of their weddings. I was maid of honor at both of their weddings. I am so thankful for them, and I'm so thankful for all of the friends I have from high school and elementary school and college and my life in San Francisco and now New York. And I just think friendship, family of course makes the world go round, but there is nothing like a great friend. And I think your friends bring the positivity and that fantastic feeling that you're looking for. And what you really need in life is, they say your vibe attracts your tribe or something like that, and it's all about who you surround yourself. And I truly think that a lot of happiness comes from who you surround yourself with and who you make an effort to keep in your presence, who builds you up, who makes you the best person that you are. And those decisions are life altering, and so I feel so lucky to have friends from every stage of my life, but also really have this core of my 2 best friends from preschool, and really my little sister is my best friend, and my mom and my aunt I'm so close to, and they're, I could say, my best friends as well. And so it's about having just this wonderful group of people to build you up and keep you going, and seek out those people if you don't have them. Put in effort, little things like at work. The littlest of things make a difference. How you pitch in, no matter what your level is, how you make people feel on a day-to-day basis. is what will impact who stays in your life and who is around, and I don't know, there's something about this fantastic movement. I get it, and the fact that Lester was my driver tonight, and it's again about positivity. It's like no one comes into it, no one is born into this world with negativity. We create it through our interactions with people and whatever else, and what happens to us, and so just assume positive intent, and you will attract what you are hoping for in life.
Well, I think you nailed it there. It's exact. I love when I hear my sentiments coming out of other people's lips. And you're exactly right. You nail on. I'm so happy to hear that you understand the fantastic movement, and you might spread it and share it with your friends and family. And actually, when they all were at the curb, letting you in the car, I just yelled it out real quick, and I heard a couple voices get it with just a 5-second pitch, because that word is so special. You know, by the way, it means unimaginably good in the dictionary, and beautiful. That's the two definitions of it. And just in closing, we can't change the question, how are you? But we can change the answer, and we can change the dynamic, and it does create engagement. But I'm going to teach you something. The question, how are you, came about in history from the days of the Black Plague, when you wanted to know someone had the plague. And it continues to this day just to be a rhetorical question. And it's like how we say hello, unfortunately. And we can't change the question, but everyone listening, change the answer. And mean it when you say it, and be it. I think, therefore I am. Be fantastic. It releases endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, makes you feel great, makes you live longer, makes you never forgotten in life. You know? And it's so easy to do. It's free. Be fantastic.
It helps you create the legacy for which you want people to remember you.
And they will never forget you. That's the beautiful thing about it. But you have to be it consistently. And when you're not feeling great, that's the best time to say it, because it will lift you out of feeling down, because it makes you smile and releases those endorphins. Okay, well, thank you for listening, everyone. Erica, thank you for participating.
Yes,
it was a
thank you, Dr. Fantastic.
17-minute interview, and you did great.
Awesome.
We didn't know what we were going to talk about, but we talked about the mind, and that's the most important thing.
Of course.
With a healthy mind, you'll have a healthy body, and maybe we can make the planet healthy. By the way, everybody, tune into my YouTube show, Help Dr. Fantastic and Thunder Save the Planet. We need to save the planet. But be fantastic first. And everybody, happy Thanksgiving 2018. Bye-bye.